Welcome to Redtastic. Story 1. Hi, I'm 30 male. I have a sister named Sharon who is 40 years old. As she was way older than me, she would always dominate me, but I didn't mind. Right after my postgrad, which I completed when I was 23, I didn't take up a job. This is because my mom was bedridden due to a stroke-related illness. My sister had 2 small children at the time and hence asked me to take care of our mother, and she said she will take care of the expenses. So I put my entire life, personal, professional, and social life, on a halt. I took care of everything, from cooking, cleaning, her personal hygiene, her therapy, and her hospital visits. I did it out of love, for sure, but it was still a lot of work. 3 years ago, my mother passed away. It was pretty traumatizing as I spent nearly 5 years with her 24/7. My mother's funeral was a low-key affair, just a few family friends. Sharon's family and me. We finished our grieving period and my sister wanted to settle the affairs. Our parents owned 1 house and a car. We ideally should have sold the house and car and split the returns equally. However, Sharon threw me under the bus. She said that as she took care of all the expenses for our mother, she was taking the house. She said I could have the car. I was shocked. I had sacrificed 5 years of my life for this, and Sharon didn't care. I had no savings, no prospects. Overnight, I was thrown out of my own house. I didn't have money to sue my sister and was absolutely helpless. I spent months living out of my car and then slowly got better. I got a job and slowly started settling down. Sharon cut full contact with me. I recently got a girlfriend and moved in with her. Life was so hard, but thanks to my girlfriend, I was feeling secure and started saving up. I spent months in therapy and then slowly started building my confidence and getting back my social life. 3 weeks ago, I got a random call from an unknown number. Turns out it was Sharon. She was all cheery and acted as if nothing happened between us. She started asking about how I was doing and if I was dating someone and all. I started getting irritated and asked her what she wanted. She tells me that she and her family had moved into our mother's house with her parents-in-law as well. I got so furious but didn't say anything. She then slowly tells me that both her in-laws are extremely sick and need a caretaker of sorts. She then had the audacity to ask me if I could take care of them. I was absolutely shocked. I literally screamed at her saying what the F she was thinking when she asked me that. And she completely misunderstood me and said, "You will be paid handsomely with food and accommodation." I asked her to F off and never contact me again. She begged and started crying, saying that she was really struggling and her children were also suffering because of this. I just cut the call. Am I the a-hole? Update. Sharon somehow found where I worked and came to my workplace. She created such a scene, crying and wailing. I was so embarrassed. She said she wouldn't leave until I said yes. She said she was so sorry and said that she will sell our mother's house after her in-laws died and split the gains with me. I called the cops and got a restraining order. You're not the a-hole, OP. Your sister is. I can't believe she's even related to you. How could she kick her brother out of the house and watch him live in a car because he has nowhere to stay? She's a user and an ass. She also dared to come to you again when she needed a caretaker for her in-laws. I'm so glad you got a restraining order against her. Cut all contact with her and don't look back. I wish you good luck in getting your life back on track. Story 2. I, 38 male, have a 19-year-old daughter, Ariel, with my ex-wife, Lauren, 39 female. We had Ariel too young, and it was a huge struggle. We moved into Lauren's family. I was working multiple jobs. Me and Lauren were best friends through all this, but things ended when Ariel was 2. Lauren's friend Tori, 38 female, told me that Lauren had been messaging guys, and when they went out, she would give out her number. I checked Lauren's phone and found out. I asked for a divorce. Lauren was pissed and wanted to reconcile. I didn't and got split custody. Lauren made my life hell. Lauren badmouthed me, would miss pickup times and make decisions without talking to me. Her dad offered money to relinquish custody, so I told him off. Ariel is now 19 and just started college. The deal was me and her mom would split it. I remarried Tori when Ariel was 6. Tori was a rock during the divorce, but we didn't date till 2 years later. Lauren used this to warp Ariel against Tori and our son 13 male. She excluded them. Whenever she spends the night, she will just talk to me or go to her room if my family is around. Our son walks to the basement if she comes over. It hurts me a lot. I've spent thousands on therapy before people bring that up. It still is being utilized. But at this point, Ariel is being nasty for the sake of it. Her mom has convinced her I cheated with her friend and had a baby. Which is funny because, as I've pointed out, the timelines don't even match up. I've done everything at this point, including family time, one-on-one and therapy. Ariel is plain rude to them and they are done trying. Ariel graduated from high school in May and hosted a party. I was invited, but my family wasn't. I told Ariel I found that disrespectful, so I would send a card but wouldn't be going. She didn't care and we haven't spoken since. I got a call from Lauren saying she paid the first semester and was wondering when I would be paying. I said I was no longer paying as I'm not pulling money out of my household when Ariel is disrespectful to 2/3 of it. My ex went off, saying we had an agreement. I reminded her of when her dad tried to buy my custody and said, "You have what you've always wanted, full control and custody. You won, so figure it out." Then texted her that I've been putting up with this long enough. She got her 18 years of child support from me, so until she planned on setting the record straight that I was done with both of them, and blocked her. I called Ariel and told her the same, gave the reasons I'm not paying and told her she needed to look into loans. But I would pay for college if she at least tried to form a bond with my family because she created this situation with her attitude. So if she wants my help, she needs to attempt it. She started crying, but I didn't fall for it. Told her what my expectations were and to let me know what her plan is so I can move the money around. My wife is on my side here, saying we've been the bad guys for long enough, but I'm getting shit from others. Am I the a-hole? OP, you are rightfully frustrated with Ariel and Lauren. They suck for obvious reasons, Lauren especially. But it's also kind of wrong to use your money to convince Ariel to form a bond with your family. I guess there are just some things that are out of your control. It would be reasonable to ask her to at least be civil and decent with your family and apologize for her behavior. I don't think the condition of your payment should be unless Ariel attempts a relationship with your family. I think it should be unless Lauren apologizes to you and tells Ariel the truth. Now for some comments. I'm saying everyone sucks here only on the basis that he waited this long to pull out of the plan and not give ample notice. He isn't an a-hole for not paying. He is an a-hole for not communicating that he wasn't paying earlier and waiting until the beginning of the semester. That is shitty and deserves to be called out. Kiddo can't have her cake and eat it too. She decided to side with mom and not believe a single thing dad said. Mom is horrible for parental alienation. Grandpa is awful for literally trying to buy the kid off. Dad is kind of an idiot for not saying sooner that he wouldn't pay, but hey, I get it. There's only so much abuse you can put up with. You reap what you sow. Or in modern lingo, they effed around and found out, not the a-hole. Also, mom's the cheater. She literally reversed the situation to make dad seem like the cheater. What the F? Why isn't more people focusing on that part but are instead trying to blame stepmother for having pointed out the cheating and being supportive? The hell, people? Everyone sucks here. For starters, getting with Tori was military-grade stupid, even if you're being honest that nothing romantic happened for 2 years. Your wife's friend was your rock during the divorce. Really? It's no wonder your daughter doesn't believe your story. I'm not sure I do, and I've only heard your side. It sucks that her mother told her lies about you, but given the circumstances, she may have come to the same conclusion on her own. She shouldn't be rude to them. However, you're allowed to demand she be respectful to your wife and child. Demanding that she make an attempt to bond with them is absurdly shitty. It's obvious that you don't care about having a relationship with your daughter any longer, and that's not entirely your fault. but don't act like you have the moral high ground here. Story 3. I, 56 male, have 5 children. This is about 3 of them: Casey, 26 female, Alex, 31 non-binary, and Tom, 34 male. Their names are not their true names. My daughter Casey is getting married this winter to a fiancé, Max, 27 male, who she has been together with for about 4 years. I'm covering the majority of the wedding expenses as Max's family lives in a different country, and with the currency exchange rate, they won't be able to afford the wedding and both to come to the wedding. I have no issues with it and just want my little girl to be happy. Last week, while Casey was away, my children Alex and Tom came to visit with their families, and we were talking about the wedding invitations. I was surprised to hear that they haven't received their wedding invitations, so I just thought that Casey hadn't sent them out yet for everyone, until my oldest and youngest daughter pointed out that they had received their invitations with their kids and partners invited. I called my sister, who also said Casey has invited their whole family to the wedding too, and she received hers a while back. So I immediately saw red. Both Alex and Tom have husbands and have children, adopted, and it seems Casey has excluded them because of their choices. It also seemed weird since Casey has always been close to them and supported them when they came out as non-binary and gay respectively. I have called Casey and demanded an explanation. My daughter said that Max and his family don't feel comfortable with couples that are not traditional, and it goes against their culture, and that she hopes for my understanding. I have told her that if that's the case, I will not be walking her down the aisle and pull out from paying for her wedding, as she cannot exclude a family like this when they did nothing wrong. And if her future in-laws' opinion is so important to her, they can pay for the wedding. As a result, Casey has called me an a-hole and hung up crying. My children are on my side. My wife is torn as she understands where Casey comes from, but agrees she shouldn't have excluded her siblings like this. Edit. Just want to add something about my wife. When I said she is torn and gets where Casey is coming from, it doesn't mean that she supports Casey's decision to exclude her siblings. She doesn't approve of it in the slightest. However, as a mother of our children, she feels she should be there for all her children if they need her or want to talk, even if she doesn't agree with their choices. She is still deeply hurt by what Casey has said, as she absolutely adores Alex's and Tom's husbands and their children. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. Casey can be bigoted on her own dime. I would never put my money into an event that discriminated against 2 of my kids like this. I also think it's pretty scummy that she didn't even have the guts to tell Alex and Tom they were being excluded. This is why people say don't sacrifice your morals for your partner, because sure, on the first date you think it's neat to have opposing views, but married life? Is Casey going to cut off her family just so she can appease her homophobic in-laws and husband? By marrying this guy and marrying into this family, she's enabling their hatred and on the road to being a bigot herself if she isn't already. Already, her own actions of exclusion are hurting people. Imagine what her husband and in-laws are like to LGBTQ+ people in person and online. Not the a-hole. It wouldn't just be the wedding. If the in-laws are this uncomfortable, then Alex and Tom would be excluded from every family event Casey hosts. Holidays. If she wants to host a holiday, all birthday parties, if she has kids, any and all other events surrounding any kids they might have, sports, graduation, ballet recitals. If Casey gives into this demand, she's effectively cutting off her own brothers. It won't be every event, as the in-laws live in another country, but it will be at least some of them. Why not invite everyone, inform everyone of who's coming, and let the uncomfortable ones stay home? It goes against your culture to exclude family members from family events. Casey and her fiancé have to make some tough decisions here.